Hello and welcome, my name is PolishLynx and we are playing Cupid. We are continuing that story and let's find out. Let's try to find out how many more times I will get angry at Rosa's mother. Let's go. Father, was he good to you? Mother puckered up her lips and appeared to ignore this. Rosa decided to risk it and asked another question tentatively. Did you love him a lot? Mother's eyes were somewhere far away. I don't know. No emotion, neither pain nor fondness registered her face. But he certainly loved me back then. Maybe. Now I'm smarter. I know better than to trust men like him. Wait. You know what? Now that I think about it, if this guy is a demon, kind of, I guess, Shulam, what if he was with that mother and he's the father of Rosa? Now that's some weird theory I came up with now. Okay, let's go with the story. You too will understand when you grow up. But wouldn't that make kind of sense? Because it sounded before that he's kind of old. That people who love you will hurt you the most, and you will only have yourself to blame. After all, you gave them permission to rearrange the ownings of your soul. Do not give anyone that permission. Rosa nodded, accepting her mother's teachings. Promise me, darling. When the time comes and you meet a demon like your father, you will do the right thing. Deliver the punishment they deserve. Punish him! Punish him! I hear you, okay? Rosa's hands were over her head. She pressed herself into a corner, panting. She had never heard mother this loud before. Punishment! This one was so loud, it rattled around her skull and made her vision blur. Mother? What more do you want? The spell is already... She bent her head down, black spots creeping into the edge of her vision. She was so tired. You cannot hide anything from me. What is this doubt you are nursing? You are hesitating. You are crafting another spell. You stupid harlot! That filthy marquis is exactly the kind of monster I've been warning you about. You dare plan behind my back. I just don't want to kill anymore, mother. She couldn't help but answer back this time. How could she not? After years filled with love and acceptance, it made her realize all the more how precious life was. The thought of snuffing out somebody else's life sent a detestable shiver through her bones. That voice is sending a shiver through my bones. She had planned on running away from this place, abandoning whatever duty that now fell into her hands. Why was it her duty anyway? She just wanted to take the good memories of this place and taint them no longer. Whatever truth she sought wasn't enough payment for peace. I don't want to. Her voice shook. I don't want to kill him, mother. I don't want to kill anyone, please. It is cowardice or stupidity. Oh, you fancy him, don't you? You hate him, don't you? Okay, fancy him is a stupid idea, because she doesn't. You hate him, don't you? Look deep in your heart and you will find it, child. As there is deep love, there is burning hate. A hate so strong it compels to end a life. Yes, darling, let it burn in you. This is fire that consumes the same way. Channel it. Use it. No, please. Rosa's head began to drop, and a violent sickness spread through her stomach. He took everything away from you, darling. He took Catherine. He will not stop. He needs to be punished. With this final proclamation, Rosa was struck to the floor. The feeling of fainting was stronger than ever. Alone in the dark, she lay there, panting like a sick dog, waiting for what would come next. Julem killed me. He made me love him and then he betrayed me. He deserves that. Only you can heal him. Oh shit, so I was right. Oh man, I can't believe that. Wow. Well, now that's something I did not expect. But, well, to be true. Okay, I can't kill him. It's what I want. That's not true. It is. I want to see justice served. You will do that for me, won't you, Rosa? My darling daughter. I could always count on you to do the right thing. So kill him. Kill Julem. Kill him. Promise me. Make him suffer. Stab him with a knife. Stick a dagger down his throat. Gouge his eyes out. Execute his sentence. Rosa clutched her head so hard she thought her skull would burst. For a long moment she lay as though she were dead. 5 minutes, 10 minutes passed. Then, in the middle of the empty room, Rosa's voice rang out as clear as a bell. I understand. Well, I would help her, but I have no possibility to do it. Kind of, I guess. We can't move in this game or anything. Rosa knocked on Julem's door, carrying a tray of food. She had been poisoning his meals in small doses for weeks now, taking note of any ill effects it yielded. There had been none. Julem was as still fit and healthy as ever. No symptoms at all, even after she had increased the dosage. Either he hadn't eaten anything for a month, or he was immune to poison. Both possibilities were suspect. Rosa knocked again. There was no response from the other side of the door. It may have worked. It was not a total loss, however. She remembered Catherine mentioning how particular Julem was with his sleep. Just as she had been about to give up, she had ventured on this hunch. It was true, Julem was curiously rather sensitive to sedatives. Rosa had offered rose tea to Julem that afternoon, under the guise that she had made a new recipe. It had been laced with opium and valerian, sweetened with honey to mask the taste. Whether or not it was the casting of philia, he had drunk it without second thought. He had retired early that evening. Rosa noted the grogginess visible in his gait. She snagged the master key this evening. Tonight is her night. Rosa pushed the door to his room open. It took a couple of seconds for her eyes to adjust to the darkness. It felt like a different world inside this room. By closing the door, it was as if she had cut herself off from the living. Rosa took an unsure step once she found her bearings. I'm afraid. She placed that tray of food on the nearest flat surface, careful not to make any noise. The candle she lit provided little comfort. It seemed to cover from the intimidating blanket of shadows. Rosa heaved. The air felt humid here, the atmosphere almost stale. Now that she was inside and venturing deeper, a sudden impulse to find the door gripped her. She looked back. It seemed farther away. Why was she so anxious? She had been in this room before. It was perfectly normal. Tonight, it was a different story. The room seemed to breathe. Rosa gulped. What a curious word. There was no other way to describe it for. The flickering shadows made it seem like the walls were respiring around her. The room felt alive. It was asleep like its owner, but alive. In the dim light of her candle, the red carpet looked like flesh. The furnishings were viscera. It didn't feel like she entered the room at all, but a belly. Something darted in the corner of her eye. Rosa snapped her hand. Just a curtain. Rosa let out the breath she was holding in her chest, aware with every move her body made. She tiptoed towards the canopy. It was perhaps the highlight of the room, an organic monstrosity of red plush and velvet. From afar, it didn't look like a bed at all, but a cage. In the room was a cavern of meat than this. This was its heart. Rosa approached. Every muscle in her body was tense. Hello? She could see a figure sprawled on the bed, limbs sticking out clumsily. He was lying on his chest, back bare, clothing littering the floor. Julem seemed to have fallen into the bed instead of climbing in. One of his arms stuck out from the mattress. His breath was fitful but slow, a light snore coming from him. What was that? Rosa looked around for the source of the noise, but the room was still. A slow trickle of sweat traced her spine. Did it come from the window? Should she check? Rosa didn't move. Something was in the room with her. She could feel it. She stole a glance at Julem. He hadn't moved from the bed. Rosa's ears tried to pick up the faintest noise. It felt like hours of her staying frozen on that spot, wishing to blend with the darkness. But there was no one there. She had probably imagined it. She took a deep breath and calmed herself down. The sooner she was out of this room, the better. Filia's effect would diminish once the candle died. After that, she might not have another chance. She had to find out more about him tonight. The thought of her goal helped steel her nerves. Where should she begin? She took a step. Rosa darted her head, looking for the source of this skittering noise. Well, maybe it is Catherine. Her ears were too sensitive now. She heard every creak and moan in the room. She took a deep breath. Focus. Rosa surveyed everything. There was a book by Julem's bedside table. It was only a couple of steps away, but she'd have to come dangerously close to the bed. As much as she could, she'd rather maintain the distance between her and the creature on the bed. Creature. Why did she think that? Perhaps it was the arrangement of the sheets, or the shadows playing their tricks, but... Rosa shook her head. Perhaps there was another place to look. We've come here to gather information. You should check the book. Easy to say. Rosa sighed. Mother was right. Unfortunately, she had to check every source to be sure. She inched herself closer to the bed. The faint candlelight indicated that the book on the bedside was red. It wasn't the journal she had seen Julem write in. Rosa tiptoed her way closer. Julem's hand dangled mere inches away. She reached her arms towards the book and swept it noiselessly. The candle almost went out with her sigh. She backed up from the bed with the book under her arm. Adrenaline surged in her blood. It almost made her smile. Rosa examined her prize. A book in foreign language. She remembered seeing such these thin, obscure characters somewhere. She wasn't sure which country, but it was probably Asian. She flipped the book and saw a piece of parchment folded on one of the pages. A sailing permit for a barge named La Victoria, dated for the end of the month. 2 days from now. It outlined the cargo and the purposes of the trip with no date of return. Traveling? No. Leaving. Julem was planning to leave. This was the suspicion she had since she had started observing him. His sudden aloofness with the town affairs, the secret purchase of a ship, the decrease of servants in his employ. Now it was confirmed. It's just as well we found this. We must end it tonight before he has a chance to escape. Although it was a good thing to confirm this suspicion, the fact helped her little. If anything, just made it even more urgent to find something tonight. She had to continue. Rosa steadied herself and stepped back to the bed. Her hand finally brushed against the wood of the table after some quiet fumbling. She caught sight of something shiny inside the drawer. "Open it, child." Oh man, Rosa pulled the drawer open ever so slightly. She peeked inside. Inside was an ornate dagger with a golden hilt set in with rubies. An old delicate pattern was carved on its blade. There was a heat emanating from it, almost like it was alive, like the rest of the room. She almost missed it in the dim light, but there was also a key in the same cabinet. Oh shit. So intense. Okay. Let's choose in the next episode actually. I'll get myself something to drink and we'll continue. I think I'll go with key, so see you then. Bye.